All right, as promised, Glenn Fricker just did a video, Black Lion Revolution 2 interface. Before any of that, I just saw that he had a video that said there's only a few hours left on a sale for his you know what that I'm probably not allowed to say. Oh, you know what? Why am I not seeing? There's a oh, there it is. I wonder if I should move this thing. Hold on, sorry, 1 second. There we go. Now, there is no paid promotion on this thing, but you know, the powers that be are lame and will probably try and nail me for things no matter what. So there you go, includes paid promotion. So over at Glenn's channel, he was just saying that there's a couple hours left on his new noise gate pedal, noise gate plugin. So go check that out if you want that sale. Otherwise, you're going to be paying some more for it. Okay, and so this one is the Black Lion Revolution 2x2, and his title is Boutique Audio for All. So I don't know, was he actually just did he just make that title to trigger me, little old me? I know he didn't, but of course it does trigger me, doesn't it? I don't know about Boutique. I will make a prediction that this thing uses Thesicon drivers. And if you don't know who Black Lion is, they are mostly known, I would think, for modifying audio circuits. They back in the day, at least, they took regular audio circuits, I think interfaces. I think they might have even done like the Behringer 8000s and modded them and stuff. And it's a mixed bag. There's a lot of love and a lot of hate for these guys on the usual places. But, you know, I love modding circuits, so I think that's pretty cool what they do. I don't know if they did a good job on it or a bad job. But how many times are we going to have to measure? You know, here we go. Here's where we go and measure mic preamps. I mean, what do you want different than ruler flat? You know, it's hard to make a crappy mic preamp today. So I don't know what this thing's magically going to do. You know what you could do is have lower noise. You could have more gain. I would love it if these things had more gain. I doubt it will. I think this is a USB interface, so you've only got so much voltage to work with. So I doubt the Boutique claim. And I bet you it's using the same drivers as anybody else, so the latency is going to be the same. I think back in the day, I'm not positive, but I think that Black Lion used to be one of those companies that made those magical clock claims. They still sell clocks. They talk about how they have super low jitter. The reason we have clocks, to me, is not about jitter or which one's better or worse or whatever. You're not going to hear it. You can claim you are, but I don't think you will. We need clocks because we need to keep our devices in sync. And like I have two. Actually, both of my clocks are from the late 90s. They're aardvarks. It used to be so cheap to get word clocks. You could get them out of video houses and whatever. Nowadays, everybody thinks they have a magical clock, and they charge crazy money for it. These Black Lion ones, I mean, Jesus, $1,000 for a clock, right? I don't see them making any crazy claims about it the way another company does. I think Antelope made some crazy claims. I swear Black Lion used to make crazy claims about their clocks. But, you know, $1,000 for a clock? What do I get for $1,000? So I just I had to buy some used ones off Reverb. I think I paid like $200 for a 4-output aardvark, and then another, and it also came with a distribution box that had another 6 outputs. But let's see what this thing has. 6 outputs for $1,000. You know, this costs you more than a mic preamp for most stuff. So SPDIF out, optical out. So it's got a couple good sync options on here, but $1,000? 8 selectable rates, galvanic transformers, blah, blah, blah. You know, I could pay $300, so $100 an output port for this 3-out one. Is that what it's got? 3 outs? Let's see. I think this one's 3 outs. I mean, it's not crazy money like some of the meatheads charge, but Yeah, 3 outs for $300. And what are you gonna have? What if you have to split them? What if you have to do distribution? The problem is like, at least in my case, is these damn freaking Focusrite Octopre's. The new ones are better, but the old ones, the Mark IIs, they don't have. You can't turn off the terminators on the word clock input. So you have to use a distribution amp or a distribution, whatever you call them, for the word clock in order to make them work. So anyway, all this long nonsense. This is the company we're talking about, Black Lion. You can go search them up in forums. They may or may not make crazy claims about stuff. They have, people love them, people hate them. Let's see what Glenn says.
This episode of Spectre Sound Studios is brought to you by Sweetwater. Hey everybody, how's it going? So I was talking with my friends over at Sweetwater. We decided we're going to partner up on a new series over the next few weeks. We'll see how it goes. And it's all about great studio gear for not a lot of money, which you can conveniently order from Sweetwater.
That's
and for the first
cool
episode, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this. This is the new interface from Black Lion Audio. Now, Black Lion creates their own mic preamps, they create compressors, they do their own 500 series racks. I've got one over here and it's absolutely amazing. I love the fact that it's got a patch bay right in front. It's one of my absolute favorite pieces of 500 series gear. But they also do mods for converters.
You can send your
converters to them,
mods.
Get them bumped up, get a better analog signal path put in, and upgrade your sound. So when I heard that they were going to...
I should just send that thing to them just so I can get the... power supply fixed. I've got one. I should go send that. Actually, it's sitting right here.
Do their own interface. I got really excited about this because I've heard a lot of great things about Black Lion's stuff. I thought, hey, let's check one of these out and see how good it really is. Now, if you've watched my show for any amount of time, you've heard me go on and on and on about how everybody uses the same chips in their converters, and that's absolutely true. Of course, the snooty response has always been, oh, but it's all about the analog signal path around it. Okay, well, here's a piece of gear with a bumped up analog signal path around the converters. I'm really excited to try this out. So let's unbox it. Let's throw it up on the desk and see what it can do. Now, as I learned on the Rev Mark III demo, always cut away from yourself, kids. Let's see what we get. Ooh, bubble wrap. All right, let's see what we get here.
And candy. It's from
Sweetwater. Sweetwater sent me a
candy
shirt too. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Very cool indeed. Let's see what's in the box here. That's actually, got some weight to it. That's pretty cool.
Where's the candy? Wait.
Those
Glenn got ripped off.
Moment of truth. Let's see what we get. I gotta say, yeah, this has got a little bit of heft to it. So most of the interfaces I've used are pretty lightweight, but not this guy. This is pretty heavy, actually. Now, just lifting the box here, this might be the heaviest 2-channel interface I think I've ever laid my hands on. Let's see what we get here.
Nice meters.
Ooh, look at that. That's freaking cool. Yeah, wow, this is really cool. This is solid metal. That's really something. So on the front, we get combo jacks for XLR and 1/4 inch. So it's got a couple instrument outputs as well as the mic preamps. Nice solid volume knob. A couple of headphone jacks. And on the bottom, we've got 1/4 inch outputs and SPDIF outputs and USB as well, USB-C. Now, I did a 5-interface shootout a while back. I'll have a link up here if you want to check that out. They're all under like $200. This one's a little bit more expensive, but the quality's supposed to be better. Apparently, they've got really high-end capacitors in here, and they're decoupled converters. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but let's plug it in and see what we get. Before we switch over there, hey, look at this. They sent us a couple of USB-C cables, which is great. Braided, no less. That is freaking awesome. That's a nice extra touch. I like that quite a bit. All right, let's throw it up on the desk, see what happens. Okay, so we move it over to the desk, and I've set up the SM7B on the Revolution 2x2 here just to check out the preamps can do. Because the best torture test I can think of a mic preamp is throwing it up an SM7B, because you need a crap ton of gain for it to work well. Like, we've cranked this down, and obviously we're not getting much.
Turn it all the way up.
Ever so slightly. Start bringing some gain up. That's about the halfway point. Just starting to get a little bit of a light there, a green light. Can we see that on that? Green light, green light. Yep, okay. And let's start cranking this up a little bit more. Not getting much of any gain here. That's about the
Yeah,
3
well-
o'clock position. That's looking at least a little bit reasonable.
The bus powered thing.
And
is
we're going to
be
crank
the
that up
same
a
as
little
any of these
more
others.
and a little more. And if we crank this all the way, yes, it's going to go through the roof, and that's really ugly to listen to. But if we pull that back down, give it a little bit more headroom,
I doubt
get us
it.
to
Let's
about...
look at. Wait. What's that getting to on DBFS there? I bet you that's still like minus 20 something. One of the screwiest things going on here right now is that even the mic pre's are not like the Octapres, the Focusrite ones. They don't put out all that much gain, and they've got full. You plug them into the wall. I think somebody was saying that it's because they're all kind of sharing the same power supplies, and we're so used to USB now that we expect like only that much gain, the 60 decibels or whatever. But I don't really see this thing as look how high he's got that thing. I don't see this thing is going to be any louder than any of the other ones like the Focusrites or whatever.
Negative 8 dBs.
No,
And
well,
that
is
looks
actually
pretty
high.
comfortable right there. Gives us a nice amount of dynamic range and hopefully
I would
not
say
any
dB
noise.
would
Let's take
be
a
hard
listen.
for this RE20 I'm talking to you on right now. Let's see, where are we? Check. I mean, I'm really talking. I've got the mic preamp almost all the way up on this thing, and it's barely reaching that. So that might be really good. So maybe I should shut up.
On Reaper here, I'm not seeing anything registering on the meters. This is just like dead silent.
So wait, well then where are you talking about? You're seeing gain, or you talk about the noise?
Okay, that's pretty freaking cool, actually. So SM7B, yeah, I think it's going to pass the test. Let's throw a little compression into the mix and listen for noise again. Hey, you know what? That's not half bad at all. This is a pretty decent pre. There's still some room left, a little more gain to go if you need something super, super loud, but seems to work all right with an SM7. Doesn't seem to be giving me any issues whatsoever. Next up, let's plug a direct guitar in and run an amp sim and check for latency and see what we get. Okay, so we're back on the main shot.
My guess is this is the same latency as anything else. It's going to have Vesicon drivers, and there you go.
And I've got the Revolution hooked up to the overhead mic here, and I'm just using it as a preamp. No compression, no anything. Lots of room left on the gain here, but I've also got the amp set up for guitar here. Just checking for headroom and latency. Doesn't seem to be any issues whatsoever. This is down all the way, but it seems like we've got plenty of room left.
Anybody surprised? That's down all the way. He's got his guitar plugged in, and it's probably pushing it there.
Before it goes into the reds, like how far can I take this up before it starts crapping out?
Good.
Just starting to kiss the reds a little bit there at about 10 o'clock. That's getting a little ugly there, that's for sure. So we're going to want to keep it down, leave a little bit of headroom, but yeah. Now, hot pickups used to be the Achilles heel of small two-channel interfaces like this, especially bus-powered ones. They just didn't have enough headroom.
Does that one not have a
The
pad?
guitar's DI signal would get squared off, and it just wasn't too much fun to play amp sims through, but
Yeah, in
this
fact,
seems to
even
be
my,
no issue.
my Focusrite Octapre Mark II, they can't handle an EMG when you plug into the instrument input.
Whatsoever, and the pickups on this Ormsby are pretty freaking hot and doesn't seem to be giving me any trouble whatsoever. Now I was originally
You
going to
guys seen the delay between the audio and the video there? I wonder if he's synced it up using that mic that he's got, and that's kind of messed up on the when you're using the interface, which has probably a little bit more latency. We'll see.
set this up for
Not that the mic and the guitar would have different latency, but the captured sound and what he's hearing out is going to be two different things.
reamp, and then I realized it's only got two outputs, and It would be really cool if I could set things up discreetly so I could say monitor through the headphone outputs and then send an output to a reamp box, but it doesn't seem to do that. It's only got 2 outputs. So what you're hearing through the mains is what you're going to hear through the headphones, unless you're doing direct monitoring like so. So you can monitor the input and then monitor the output like that. But unfortunately, it's not discrete, meaning it's not going to give me 2 separate outputs. So I'm going to have to skip the reamp stage because I could do it mono, I suppose, but it just wouldn't be nearly as accurate. So far, though, I'm really liking it. That seems to be my...
hold it against 2 in, 2 out interface. That's exactly how it should be normally if they claim just 2 ins and 2 outs.
My only gripe is it's only got 2 outputs. It would have been really cool if we could get separate outputs going out of the headphone out and then the mains. I would really like to see that in maybe a future update. I don't even know if that's possible. And also some kind of software loopback system I think would be really great.
Yes. How many times are we going to talk about that one, right? And RME, can you please just give us a virtual loopback?
On the Mac, there doesn't seem to be any kind of control software. You just plug it in and it works. So you've got to do all your routing through your DAW. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying be aware of that. But if you've got something like Reaper that does great live monitoring, it shouldn't be an issue. I'm running Reaper at 32 samples of latency and no issues whatsoever. I am going to try throwing it on my laptop just to see what happens. We'll cut to that in just a minute. Okay, just switched over here for a sec. Just wanted to show you guys, I've got my Slick Audio PC up and running, and I'm running the Revolution into it. And got to say, the driver install was a snap. It's dead simple. There's really nothing to say other than, hey, it works. Great. And that's how PC driver installs should be.
Yes.
Painless. So for all you guys who are running Windows, yeah, this will work just fine. Hey everybody, just going to break in here for a sec. So I talked with my friends over at Sweetwater, and what we're going to do is we're going to give this away to one very lucky viewer. I was just looking around the place and it's like I'm kind of tripping over amps and compressors and all kinds of awesome stuff, and I really don't have space for this. I tell you, it's awesome. I'd love to keep it, but you know what? It's probably going to do one of you guys out there way more good than it's going to do for me just sitting on a shelf. So follow the link in the description below and get on the raffle for this, and somebody out there in this great big world of ours is going to have a very, very good day when this comes in the mail. Just to be absolutely clear, I'm opening this contest up to everybody worldwide, so sign up and you just might get lucky. Now back to the show. All right, so I've had the Revolution up here on the desk for the last couple days, and I gotta say, it's been great working with it, just doing my day-to-day stuff, because normally I don't need more than a couple of inputs and outputs. It's only when I get into the really big projects and I start to use a lot of outboard and reamping and all that kind of stuff that I need more than just a couple channels. That being said, I'd really like to see what Black Lion's got in store for a larger unit. I would love to see an 8-channel unit or one of these, or better yet, 16-channel unit. So I gotta say, the one thing I'm doing over and over again is I'm reaching for the volume knob on my RME when I should be reaching for this thing. It's like, oh yeah, right, I'm not plugged into the RME, it's the Black Lion. Okay, great, let me make an adjustment there. I think that goes a long way to saying what kind of quality this thing is delivering in terms of sound, where I find I'm not missing my main interface, which is priced for considerably a lot more money. Now, the big question I didn't see answered on the webpage is whether or not you're getting the components you would get if you, say, sent Black Lion your Apollo Twin or something like that to get that upgraded. Is this basically the upgrade in a box you can get for a lot less money? I'd like to know the answer to that question. If somebody knows, please feel free to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I mean, but bottom line, when it comes to 2-channel interfaces, I think this one's going to be kind of hard to beat in terms of quality, in terms of how much gain you have, noise, all that kind of stuff. It's really something else, I gotta say. The fact that you're gonna have to pay almost double the cost for something better says a great deal. It's not a $99 interface, that's for sure. It's going for like $400 at Sweetwater. It's not the cheapest interface, but it's definitely not the most expensive either. I've worked with the RME stuff. I use my baby face on the road all the time. I worked with a lot of the Apollo stuff when I was down at the Hollywood studio. Great stuff. But I think both those brands have some serious competition coming their way, courtesy of Black Lion Audio. It's definitely worth having a look at. Follow the link in the description below. I'm out of here.
Crazy, huh? All right. Nobody died. See you guys later.